Hello, I am Niomie Wogan and welcome to my AS Media blog. As you can see, I have an introduction and then I have to do the main task. The main task of AS Media this year is to produce a 5-minute bulletin. In order to do this, I first need to understand the genre of local radio news. This is why I have analysed both BBC Radio Tees and BBC Radio Nottingham for its codes and conventions. I have done this in order to see if the codes and conventions for one radio show, for example for BBC Radio Tees, translates to the other radio show. That was one secondary research method that I have used. The other secondary research method that I used was going on FutureLearn. FutureLearn offers online courses in order to help me understand journalism. On FutureLearn, I learned the difference between hard and soft news stories, but it also helped me understand, which was very essential, the news values. Overall, there are 10 different news values, and news values help determine what is prioritized during a local news radio show. For example, I have decided to analyze BBC Radio Nottingham for its news values. I picked out the different headlines, analyzed it for its news values, and found out that the first headline has the most amount of news values because it is prioritized, while other news stories may have only one or two, therefore it's less important. My final secondary research method that I used was reading a relevant book. This book I read was called What Do We Mean by Local Radio? I found this book very helpful in helping me understand the past of local radio news stories and the stations and how it grew over time, but also the future of local radio news stories. The book also helped me understand audiences, which is the other thing I need to learn in order to produce my 5-minute bulletin. It helped me understand that I needed to create a tribal feeling for my audience to attract them to listen to the local radio news station. Those were my secondary research methods, but now I need to do and move on to my primary research method. One of the primary research method is to go out onto the streets and interview face-to-face with the local audience. We decided as a group to ask these 5 questions in order to help us produce different news items and stories for the local audience. As you can see here, my team has already successfully managed to produce one news item, and this is the editing process. This specific story has both bad news and a follow-up. Therefore, I am using one of my secondary research methods to understand and produce a news item. Thank you.